Here's something that might sound familiar. You wake up on a Tuesday feeling energized and clear about your priorities. You tackle your morning routine, answer emails efficiently, and even squeeze in that workout you've been putting off. By evening, you're convinced you've figured it out. You've cracked the code on how to be a functional human being. Then Wednesday arrives. The same routine feels impossible. Your energy is nowhere to be found, and even making coffee feels like climbing a mountain. What happened? Did you suddenly forget how to be human? This pattern isn't a personal failing. It's actually one of the most predictable aspects of human experience, yet we treat it like evidence that something's wrong with us. Most productivity advice pretends this variability doesn't exist. It assumes you're a machine that can deliver consistent output regardless of internal conditions. But that's not how humans work. Here's what most people miss about energy and capacity. They're not fixed resources you can optimize into submission. They're more like weather systems, constantly shifting based on factors you can't always see or control. Sleep quality, stress levels, hormone fluctuations, emotional processing, even the conversations you had yesterday all influence what you're capable of today. Recognizing this isn't giving yourself permission to be lazy. It's acknowledging the reality of how human systems actually function. The problem with ignoring these natural rhythms is that it creates a cycle of shame. You set expectations based on your best days, then beat yourself up when regular days don't measure up. This internal criticism actually drains more energy than the original task ever would. You end up fighting yourself instead of working with yourself, which is the opposite of learning to master being human. Think about how you treat a friend who's having a rough day. You probably offer understanding, maybe suggest something gentler, or simply acknowledge that some days are harder than others. You wouldn't tell them they're broken because they can't perform at peak capacity every single day, yet that's exactly how we talk to ourselves. If you're finding value in this perspective, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to Master Being Human. It helps us reach more people who are ready to think differently about what it means to be human. There's a more sustainable approach that works with human variability instead of against it. It's built on 3 simple stabilizers that adapt to whatever capacity you're working with. First, create minimum viable versions of important things. This means having a version of your priorities that works even when you're running on fumes. Maybe your full workout is an hour at the gym, but your minimum viable version is a 10-minute walk. Both count, both maintain the pattern. Second, separate identity from performance. Your worth as a person doesn't fluctuate with your productivity levels. Some days you'll accomplish more, some days less. Neither version defines who you are. This separation prevents the shame spiral that turns one low-energy day into a week of self-punishment. Third, practice capacity awareness without judgment. Notice what you're working with today without making it mean something about your character. High-capacity days aren't moral victories, and low-capacity days aren't moral failures. They're just information about your current resources. This approach doesn't eliminate the natural ups and downs of human energy. It changes your relationship to them. Instead of seeing variability as a problem to solve, you start seeing it as a condition to navigate. That shift alone reduces the mental load of constantly fighting yourself. One person described it this way: they stopped asking why they couldn't maintain the same energy every day and started asking what they could maintain given their actual energy. The first question led to frustration and self-criticism. The second question led to sustainable systems and self-compassion. That's what it really looks like to master being human in everyday life. The most liberating part of this shift is realizing that consistency doesn't mean doing the exact same thing every day. It means showing up in whatever way you can with whatever you have available. Some days that's full engagement. Some days that's simply not making things worse for tomorrow's version of yourself. Both are valid forms of participation in your own life. When you stop demanding machine-like consistency from yourself, something interesting happens. You actually become more consistent over time because you're working with your natural rhythms instead of against them. You build systems that bend without breaking, and that's far more powerful than systems that only work under perfect conditions. This is part of learning how to master being human, not by transcending your humanity, but by embracing it fully, including the parts that vary from day to day. Your capacity for growth, connection, and contribution doesn't depend on performing at the same level every single day. It depends on showing up consistently over time, in whatever form that takes. If you're ready to explore these ideas more deeply with others who are on a similar path, check out our community on School. The link is in the description. It's a space for people who want to go deeper into what it means to be human without trying to optimize themselves into something they're not.